Welcome to Center Hice, January 24th. What a day, what a day. Last night was the big game between the Big Bad Bruins and the Habs. Anyway, this is the final week of January. Please hit the likes and subscribes. I want to apologize. Please excuse me. I've battling COVID. I got my nice dose of it, and it's been quite a battle. So, bear with me. I just still wanted to get this taping out. Anyhow, we're going to talk about this week's games, which last night we're going to review last night's preview the following two games of the month. So we got to really tip our hats off the fight that this club put in, even the game back on Saturday against Toronto, and it always seems that the Habs put in a good effort when you think they're going to get killed. With an entire rookie roster here, really, this is looking like a bunch of kids. And you got to say in Toronto, Josh Anderson looked great. He always seems to play well against the Leafs. So that's a good thing. But, you really had to wonder, is he going to be able to bring that again? Because Josh is so inconsistent that could he bring it to the Bruins game? And, he did bring it. I got to tip my hat off. That's two straight games for him back to back. Maybe, this is a sign. And I got to say, does this not tell you how bad this team was? I mean, with our regulars, we still have some of them there, but overall, this shows you how weak of a unit we had. Our kids are actually outplaying that main roster quite hands downly. I'm impressed. They're showing a lot of grit and heart. I mean, Kirby Doc, what can you say? This was Kirby Doc night against the Bruins. Boy, did he show his stuff. Him using that body, that big body, and he's just a kid. I think he just turned 22. His birthday, I believe, was over the weekend. And hey, happy birthday, Kirby! You're doing a wonderful job. And anybody questioning Gordon and Hughes needs to shake themselves, because what a hell of a trade this has been. This is Doc's best numbers, and Sam Montembeault again. When we think we're going to get slaughtered, this guy's standing on his head. He's really coming into his own. This, to me, and I've said it earlier in the season, although, he had some moments where he seems to, the odd game, but it's not very often. He just really seems to be maturing, and I think he's really putting up the case. Should he be the number one? Should he be the number one? Because he's starting to look like it. There's an upside with him, whereas you got an old man. I love Allen, but he's an old man. What you see is what you get. There's no climbing. Montembeault, we're seeing climbing. He's what a game. Can't put this game on Montembeault. I still go revert back to that goal in front of the net where Savard just misses it, and wide open cage. And of course, when with guys like Patrice Bergeron and that around the net, what do you expect, right? That's just a class act there, that Bergeron. And I really got to say, everybody on the Habs, I can't really find a person that played bad, other than I do know that I was questioning why Arbor wasn't utilized a little more as this game went on, but I know he had a few times, and maybe that's what they were seeing, that he was being outskated at times, and they were a little concerned. That's the only thing I can see, because overall, I think they should have kept him put. Because I mean, Pitt, like, what can you say since him being back in Montreal? And I've said this, it's this guy's got more talent than a lot of those guys that were on in that lineup. It's just now he's getting to be utilized up the lineup, and that's not going to last long for a lot of them. But it shows you he's not missing his assignments coming back in the defensive zone. And what a game! He sends the message to Brad Marchand right away with that nice hip. Look out, bud. Expect us. Don't keep your head down. We're going to be there. We're going to take you. And he sent the message early. And it was nice, too, because farther on into that first period, as we got deeper, it was funny to see Marchand, not knowing he was running into Arbor Jacki. And Jacki gives him a shot in the head to say, okay, I want you to wake up and realize who's here tonight. And, you could see that Marchand took notice of who was there. He wanted nothing to do with Arbor. And I think Arbor was hoping to get the chance to send a message, but unfortunately, because that's what I was hoping for. And I asked you to excuse me because I'm battling COVID, coming to the tail end of it, but it's still quite a battle, as anyone who's had it knows. And if you got an immune system like mine, it takes a little more on you than the average person. So, with that being said, this game is closer than you thought it was. Don't kid yourself. 4-2 looks a little wider, but really that's with an empty netter. And Pasternak, you expected him to pop one. No big surprises there. What I found is, and I'll say this too, is Barron's game is coming. This young defenseman, I was worried about him for a while there. He's starting to get back to where we seen him last year before he got injured, and he's starting to look good. The only thing he's got to do is learn how to tie his man up in front of the net, because we had a couple, a goal scored there because he wasn't tied up. The player, I believe it was Krejci. And Krejci, what can you say? This is such a veteran, solid lineup for the Boston Bruins. You can definitely tell. Who knew Krejci still had this much left coming back? It's evident Boston's taking a shot at one more cup. And I got to say, power to them, because they got a great looking club. And Montgomery looks just doing a fabulous job with that team. You can't find any weak points on that team. I just like seeing the Habs. We skated with them for a team that's nowhere, not even in their ballpark whatsoever. It's day and night when you look at these two teams. But we showed 100% grit, especially after showing 100% grit after the Leafs, which was, again, Leafs must just be dreading anytime they see the Habs. But good game. Again, empty netter scored, but this was Kirby Doc night on it as far as Montreal. I was a little disappointed the way they picked their stars. I love Patrice Bergeron, but Kirby Doc there's no end to some buts. Should have been their first or second star. I'm sorry. I don't care if it's a win or not. This is where people don't know how to pick their stars of the game. Kirby Doc, definitely, definitely for the Habs. And even though there's no saying when a team loses that they can't have the first star, and they should have had it. They deserved it. Kirby deserved first star of that game. And again, Patrice Bergeron, he just shows why he's such a leader. And I love watching this man play hockey, because as old as he is, he always comes through. He hasn't missed a step whatsoever. So you gotta love the way the Bruins remind me of the way we used to be run. And I'm hoping that this new regime for us in management gets us back to those glory years, because anybody using a brain cell can tell there's certain teams that took a blueprint from the Montreal Canadiens, and that Boston Bruins are one of them. And look how long it's holding up. Cam Neely's a smart dude, so you gotta tip your hat off to him. So again, though, I say with the kids, congratulations. Like I said, shame that Arbor never got to play a little more. I'd love to. Hopefully, he didn't have any injuries. But this was quite a game, and a great effort from everybody. Daninoff actually had a strong game. Suzuki had a very strong game. Dvorak had an incredibly strong game. He was really battling it out, taking the battles on the boards, always stepping up. A Kirby Doc, man, this guy, how many times, even in his own end, does he win the battles? And he's so relied upon. Like I say, don't question the move of Romanov being gone. It was well worth getting Kirby Doc. So that ends that at a very well respected game, and what an exciting game. And hopefully this is the type of hockey you want to see the Habs play. Especially with a team that's so decimated. When I look at Harvey Pernard, Ulanen, they had wonderful, wonderful games. They really injected some speed. They didn't look like they didn't belong. It was a beautiful game, and Belzile, how many shots he came so close. He was really a guy who I liked his attitude, being a 31-year-old. You have to tip your hat off to him. He knows he's not going to be NHL material. He's kind of a fill-in maybe the odd time, and he showed he's a good leader. for those guys down in the AHL because he came close last night. He had a lot of good chances. He had common sense to put it on the net. And that's what I like about Arbor. Arbor puts it on the net, but the great skating capabilities. And this was one of the. I have a problem with Matheson, and I'm sorry. Anytime we seem to get into trouble, and Mike Matheson seemed to be. Yes, I do know he gets to play in transitions. He's got that speed. That's great. But my God, defensively, he's terrible. He can't tie a stick up in front of the net. This showed completely. He turns it over like any pressure applied to Matheson, and you're wondering, the Bruins big had plenty of times to score off of his mistakes alone. I found Edmondson had a nice strong game, very strong game. Good to see he's starting to come into his own, which is good, and his value's got to be going up. Savard had a good game. Other than I know you could see him shake his head. I mean, the guy blocked shots like nobody. He took a bad one there. You could see him grimacing in pain for a while. Hopefully he's okay. But you could tell that goal I was speaking of, he wishes he had that back. But those guys played a good game. Kids played good. I can't say more than enough. And Ren Pitlick looks wonderful since being back. So hats off. Maybe this is what we need. But I'm sure hoping the trades are going to start now. It's time to get some of the bodies out of there. Mike Hoffman didn't have a bad game either. So that's kind of a positive. But Dandenong, one of his stronger games. So this team played quite fairly well. Fairly well, but I mean, Habs down. Habs, hands down, top player. Kirby Doc, there was nobody close. Dvorak, I would say, was a good runner-up. And you kind of go from there. Very good. And then, Pitlick had a good game. But Doc and Dvorak, Doc especially, had the strongest game. And Montembeault, he's looking like he could take that starting job to me from Allen because there's an upside to his game. It keeps going up. He keeps gaining confidence. Nice to see. So you got to clap your hands and cheer the boys. They did a good job. They played very well. Now, in saying that, so again, I say the score was closer. Remember, they had an empty netter. So for us to even stay in the same, even that close to the Bruins, I was quite proud of them. So good coaching there on Martin St. Louis' part as well. Well done. So we go from there, and we had such excitement stealing that game from Toronto before this one. So good things, this team, as long as they can put on performances like this, we're doing all right. Next game, we're going to have the Wings. This, kid yourself, not is going to be a problem. Yet, they're not the big bad Bruins. Problem is they have so much speed and so much young talent. And we're similar in those areas, except they got a little more. They're more balanced right now. They're ahead of us, of course, much farther ahead of us. And it showed in the early game in the season that we had problems with this, and we seem to have problems with the Wings. I don't expect to see a close. That's not going to be a nightmare as long as we play with the pride we played against the Bruins. I think you could look at a game possibly being 4-2 for the Wings. But again, if we can keep it entertaining, it's going to be all right because they're fast, they're big, and that Soderstrom's going to be a problem. He's just a monster to go up against for us. So it's going to be, and Stevie's got a good thing going there, and they're battling for a playoff spot. So what I like seeing is we're battling to get to the bottom, and I hope we continue that way. Nice to see Florida at least lose in overtime last night. Got to say, good job, Florida. Very good job. We'll take it. We'll take it. So that being said, that's my projection for Thursday night's game. I don't know if this is going to be as entertaining as Toronto and Boston. Those are our rivals. For me, I've always been, I prefer Boston getting Montreal games. I'm looking forward to the day when we can turn the tables. And I think, that's the great thing about having Arbor in the lineup. We now have that person that each team needs one of them. And we didn't have one for a long time. So as this team grows, his presence is going to be needed. This grit, and I like the way the guys stand up for each other. I liked seeing how Pizzetta also stood up for Suzuki with that cheap shot, and some bad penalty refereeing in this game. I mean, I don't know where the referees come up with some of the plays that Marchand totally that call when he went down. Come on, that was a dive and embellishment in big time. Although he's smart, if I had a hockey team, Brad Marchand's one of the first guys I'm picking because he's so damn smart. He's like he's that brat with on steroids. He's at a different level altogether. So anyway, again, don't expect much against with the Wings, and that's good for us. And I hope I'm hoping the Wings win, but I hope it's a close game. Then we're going to head into the weekend, Saturday, and the following week we follow up with Saturday. We match up against the Sens, and if you remember when our troubles started when we went off course, it was running into the Sens. We started off great in that last game against them, and then they ate us alive. And I don't know what it is. They're farther ahead, and they're going to be fighting to move up that ladder. We're not in the same category. Again, they're just a little further advanced, and you can be assured Arbor and Kostalik. I'm expecting another fight. Surprised no fight against Boston, but he can't fight every night. He's always taking the torch for us. So with that being said, you know very well there'll probably be Kostalik and Arbor at it in this game, and there may be two fights. Because they play them, I believe, Monday as well. Yeah, so two back-to-back games against them. Don't expect anything high from us here. We don't do well against the Sens. I don't know what it is, other than I know they got a high octane offense compared to us. And they should have done better than they were. They were projected to do a lot better. But when you look at the offense, Stutzla and of course Kachuk. Batherson, these guys, they just always play well against the Habs. So, and then you got Claude Giroux. What can you say about Claude Giroux? What a beautiful veteran to watch. So, I would expect this game. Believe it or not, I think this is the sad part of it. We play the stronger teams. It seems better. I think this is a 5-2 game for the Sens, and I hope we keep it close and keep it entertaining like we're doing. That's all I expect out of us, and keep dropping. And if it's not 5-2, it's going to be 6-2. But I'm going to give us a little credit because I like the heart our boys are coming out with, and I'm waiting for the bomb now. Anytime now, I do think something's about to happen trade wise. It's almost a funny feeling you get. There's so much rumor that now you think we're so close to the All-Star game, and which I think is garbage. I'm not a fan. I think it's an utter waste of time, to be honest. It's not the same as your playoff type hockey. So anyway, with that being said, it's been a good week. We got a lot going on. There's a lot of trade rumor going on, and let's hope that we are. I think we're bit by bit. I think we're 6th or 7th from the bottom. And I think in this week we are gonna slide a spot and a half type thing. So expect to see us around 5th to the bottom by the end of this week or the beginning of next week, I would say. So things going well, but I want to commend Hughes and Gordon what they're doing. You can see the results of these, like Ullinen and Pinard. They really showed they didn't look out of place last night. And same thing with Bazal. I can never say his name that well. He really is going to be. I think that's an excellent guy for Laval's team to captain them. He just brings such leadership, and sometimes he had more experience than a lot of the young Habs. So with that being said, that is your final week of January, and I want to say thank you for following me. And let's get excited. Yes, I know the All-Star game. That's going to be something. Some people are into that. There was a time I liked it, and that was going quite a ways back. I think I stopped liking it after the Gretzky Lemieux era. It just was never the same after that. So for me, I think that's the time for the team to get some rest. Hopefully. But let's see what happens, and hopefully we can keep the band-aids on because, boy, if this team falls apart any farther, I mean, this is like watching the Laval Canadians right now. But it's good because the kids are getting experience. So hats off to the Habs, and let's get that Bedard, man. Bedard. Can you say it? Bedard, Connor Bedard. Imagine putting that into our lineup. That'd be something else, right? I mean, because I honestly think when we do this next up and coming draft, I think this is where we start next season on. I think you're going to start seeing us go to a point where now it was one thing to do the tanking. Now it's to move out of some of the bad habits and work on the keys, such as our power play. Which, maybe they let Burrows go to the end of the season, but I sure hope by the end of the season he's done because he doesn't have the answer. And yet, yes, we did get a power play goal last night. It's not enough. It's not enough where we stand. And, great job for penalty killing, too. The boys, this team is coming. But I love what Marty's doing. I still say he needs a veteran to assist him. Somebody who knows the power play and the penalty kill real well. And I got to say, for that defensive coach, and I know his face, he's an ex-Hab, he's been around the league. He's doing quite a good job for being a rookie coach on the defense. I mean, those kids have really responded to him. So hats off to him as well. And the Montreal Canadiens organization is headed in the right direction. Get rid of the panic button, guys. Don't panic it. We're going to be all right. We got to get the trades going. It's time to clean house now. We're too close now. Far too close. I mean, my God, we're going to be in February. You can't be tinkering too long with this. So, with that being said, thank you for joining me. Please hit the likes and the subscribes. We're trying to advance the station to go up a little further. Once again, it would mean a lot. And I appreciate you stopping by and watching. Leave me your comments. What you think is going to transpire here? I'm looking for the 4 crew that needed the 4-pack that we want gone, and the top 3 that we could get at first. I'm looking for something to happen there. At least get one of those top 3 gone for the first rounder, and the 4, I'd like to see history as soon as possible. All right. Well, go Habs, go. Good job. Keep your head up. This is what we got to do. Be patient. We need to tank. Okay? And we're doing, as long as we play respectable like we did, then we're all right. This is the type of hockey we like to watch. These 2 last games were very good games. So, that being said, we will see you next week when, of course, the Habs will be also going up against the Senators for their second game. And we'll be looking at the first week of February then. So, God bless you all. Again, bear with me because I'm battling COVID. I still wanted to get this up for you. So, take care and hit the likes, subscribes. Send your friends, your neighbors, your dogs, your cats. Hit those likes. We can use them. And where does the puck drop first? At center Hice. Right here. Take care.